Okay, good morning again, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. A couple quick things. I'd like to do some quick intros, and then we'll get started. On the line with us, we have Mike Buckingham and Elisa Tran from August Lock. And first of all, we want to really thank them. They are on the West Coast, so it's bright and shiny in the morning for them, so we appreciate them accommodating us and coming on to do this with us. Real quick, I wanted to talk to you about why August is important to Worthington and why we feel it will be important to you guys, and then we'll turn it over and they'll take you through the product line. What's really cool about August is, as a lot of our dealers already know, the whole idea of a motorized electronic lock is a big one. It's been a great mover for us and for our customers, and it's just a fantastic piece of the market to be in. What we're finding is, not just in locks, but across the spectrum, there are more and more products and systems that are more focused on the end user. So these are products that are available in a retail environment. They are meant to be put in by the end user on their own. However, that still leaves a fantastic opportunity for dealers. There are some customers who now have the awareness of these products, but might say, you know what, I'm not really the type of person to go and do this on my own. I'm not going to mess with my lock. I'm not going to mess with my thermostat. I'm not going to put a new light switch in my house. They're going to count on professionals to do that, and that's where people like you come in. And that's why we wanted to show you this today. Where I feel like this is a really big thing is you start to look at the August Lock, the Nest thermostat, the Harmony remotes from Logitech, and then Lutron Caseta lighting. These are things that all work together really well. They're affordable. They're accessible to a much broader segment of homeowners than we typically could offer you products that would hit. So there's a lot of good things here. With that, the only thing I could tell you before we get started, for those of you who are joining us, and we really appreciate your time this morning, we've got some pretty good pricing for you for the next week on August Locks. Anywhere between on a less expensive $60 part, we're taking like $6 off. But if you get up to the more expensive locks, you're going to save, 15 to 20 bucks depending on the model of the lock. So when the webinar is over, we will send out a quick email to you with a quick recap and the pricing on that. But if you give us a buzz up until this time next week, we will get you in on those promo prices. And it's one of those things where once you get to see the product today, the next logical step is to get one in hand and really play with it. And I can tell you for us, that was definitely the big thing. We got one of these in hands and said, okay, we get what this is all about and why it's important. With that, I will hand it over to Mike and Elisa. And again, we really appreciate their time this morning. As you guys have questions, go ahead and type them in the chat box, and we'll keep an eye on it. And I'll pop in once in a while and read off the questions, and we'll get them answered for you as we go.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. Mike Buckingham here, Director of August Pro. I'm joined by Elisa Tran. She is our channel marketing manager, handles both the retail and the pro side for August. We both have experience in the pro channel. I'll go through kind of where I come from real quick, and then Elisa can give a quick intro, and we'll dive into it. I've been in smart home for about 15 years. I actually used to work for smarthome.com. And when they had a smart home pro division selling to dealers many years ago, actually competed with Worthington at one point. So I'm very familiar with the model that Worthington has. Great university, great support. Glad you all could be here. I'm very happy to be a partner and part of the distribution. I was brought on board in August last November to build out a pro strategy and get August products out into the channel and into the hands of professionals like yourselves. It's a whole a different market. I'm sure the crowd is familiar with August as a retail based product line, much like a lot of what Richie had overviewed just a couple minutes ago. The new IoT devices that you find in some retail shops, but also dealers are having success with as well, whether it's Lutron, Caseta, or Nest, or even Sonos to a less degree. So that's me, Mike Buckingham. Elisa, are you on audio as well?
Yep, I'm right here.
Great. So Elisa comes to us from Nest. She actually was part of the team that helped build the pro strategy at Nest. So a lot of experience in terms of how we're going to market and what we're building. We're just getting started, so we're open to feedback in terms of how we're building this pro business. We're putting distribution partners, and thank you all for joining. So we'll go ahead and just dive in here to the content. I think I kind of covered who we are there pretty quickly. We have a mission statement in terms of what we want to do as a company, and it's really all about access control around the front door. We're an ecosystem of products that allow ease of entry for the homeowner, whether it's via smart lock or unprecedented access to your front door via video doorbell, and a complete solution of products that provide that access. So today, we want to tell you a little bit more, get into the details about where the August products fit. Um, some detail on each of the products. I think until you get the product in your hand or really understand how they operate, there tends to be some confusion. So we hope to take you through that, at least on a high level, show you an overview of the products, and then talk about some of the systems and platforms we're compatible with. There's been some exciting announcements for us recently in terms of compatibility. August is now compatible with Honeywell Total Connect alarm systems, for instance. It's also just in the last week was announced, to be compatible with Amazon Echo, which is obviously a big thing for our company. It was accepted very well, and I think it's starting to become a platform that the dealers are having a hard time ignoring. So, welcoming your questions as well as we go through the content here. So, where does August apply? And as a company, we've built a family of products that cover access control both inside and outside of the home. The two hero products are the August Smart Lock and the August Doorbell Cam. One of the biggest misunderstandings actually about the door lock that we'll get into here in a few minutes is that it actually installs on the inside of the door. There's a lot of confusion there from both customers and installers. More recently, we've also added a smart keypad to the product mix as well. We'll get into that. The smart keypad was really a product in great demand in terms of having another means of entry into the home other than smartphone. That came really through our partnerships with short-term rental companies, Airbnb, vacation homes. You may have customers who rent their homes out or have cottages, second homes, or even to be able to let people into your home that don't have smartphone access. A cleaning staff or maintenance workers or such. August, there's a lot of competition. Obviously, you think of smart locks. I think in the channel, you think of Z-Wave based smart locks from Schlage and Kwikset and Yale. You also think of doorbells in the channel. You think of Ring and Skybell as two prominent players. At August, sounds like I was muted there for a second. Hopefully, I'm back on audio now.
Yep, you're back on, Mike.
Okay. So the difference with August is in terms of having a complete solution. So we have not only a retrofit door lock solution, a doorbell camera, but also the app and back end system that ties all of those products together. And that's a big component here. August, I kind of raced through the company details, but we have 90 employees based out of the Bay Area. The majority of our engineers are actually software engineers. So we've built all the back end systems, all the front end systems, and it's all based upon security and reliability. We have to bring a product that works out of the box. Otherwise, our customers return it. So I think that's another reason why this model is interesting. You have a product here that's designed for ease of use, but also has a compelling upsell in terms of how you can apply it to the market. Again, getting back to August in structure, about 90 employees. We've raised over $52 million in capital. So we're a prominent player, even though we've only been shipping product for about 2 years. So the smart lock. This is
I
our second.
actually, Mike, I'm going to stop right there because I love the little changes that we've done on the smart lock right here. Knowing that a lot of you guys have been familiar with maybe the first generation of the smart lock, I do want to call out a little bit of the differences that this newer version does have. We do zoom in a little bit on this hero shot of the smart lock so we can call out again a little bit of the changes that we've made. So if you see the dimples here, actually, we made a little bit of a cosmetic change so that when you do install it for, the end user and your consumers, we made it so that it's an easier grip. So that dimple makes it easier for people to hold a smart lock in their hands inside their door to lock and unlock the door. We also added a small little bevel where you see the August logo up on top so that from afar, let's just say, you just want to check on your door and you're in the hallway, you can tell when the door is actually locked and unlocked. When we make these subtle changes, it just kind of gives the impression that the smart lock is a little bit smaller than it was before. And that's just some of the feedback we've gotten even from Worthington, from you guys as consumers of our products. It is made of aluminum and stainless steel, and it's quite different from some of the plastic and cheaper looking products that are out in the market right now. The battery door is actually solid, and there's a very strong magnetic piece that just needs to push open a little bit so that you're able to change out the batteries when they do run low. And it's actually very beautiful. If you guys, Mike kind of brought it up earlier, it's really hard to tell you about the beauty of the product until you actually see a demo, because you can just imagine everybody's got their phones in their hands and you just walk in and out of your house on a daily basis and you're so accustomed to locking and unlocking a regular deadbolt. When you actually are able to see your door either automatically unlock or use your phone to unlock the door, there's just kind of like this magic that happens that you can't describe. And when people see it, they're like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. So it really let the product sell itself. MSRP is $229, and I know Richie did mention earlier we do have a deal with you guys for a week, so we're pretty excited about that promotion. In addition to that, we also received the Editor's Choice Award, which is very hard to get for best smart lock in the market right now. So pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, that was. Thank you, Elisa. That was great insight, and the CNET Award is something that we're very proud of. Actually, the Smart Lock was one of their picks of product of the year for 2016. As Elisa mentioned, second generation, obviously HomeKit enabled. That's important to us, important enough that we built it into actually the branding of the product. So, now Siri can control your lock. I think HomeKit is probably something that has made dealers nervous traditionally, but it also has a way to tie a product into your consumers, or your iOS consumers' everyday life, just via the Siri interface. I use this every day when I walk out the door. Hey Siri, lock the front door. Voice has become a huge part of what we're. Actually, I just said that and Siri reacted my phone. So let's move on to the next slide. This is important. This seems kind of basic, but it takes us through the operation of the installation of the lock, and also to dispel some of the confusion I know that Elisa gets and I get all the time in terms of where this lock installs. So we actually are a completely retrofit solution. You don't have to remove the lock set on the front of the door. That remains intact. All you do is actually take the two screws out for the thumb turn and remove the thumb turn and put on the mounting plate. We have a universal mounting plate that ships with the product now. You take the two screws that you had from the thumb turn, put that mounting plate on, pick out the bracket that works for the type of doorbell or the type of deadbolt that you have, and then go ahead and slap the lock on. It has two flanges on the side that open up, and it actually locks onto that mounting plate. And effectively now what you have is a new thumb turn on the inside of your door. The only difference is this thumb turn is both Bluetooth enabled and Wi-Fi compatible. So I now have a lock that can be used remotely. I don't have the look on the outside of the door of a lock, of a smart lock, and a lot of people appreciate that. Any details I might have missed here, Lisa?
Nope, you've got it. I just got to really harp that it installs on the inside of the door. We just get asked so many times, and we're taking the feedback, in the packaging that we do, and even in the ways that we do our training. We really call out this one section that is just a simple retrofit to your door lock, and it installs on the inside of your house.
Hey,
And
Mike, this is Richie. If I can stop you for a second, we have a couple of questions coming in. Oh, it looks like Elisa's answered them down in the text. That's quite all right.
oh,
I've got
good.
it. Yep.
I didn't even see that, so I'm glad that she's on it here. Okay, great. So we changed this slide a little bit because we went out to market 18 months ago and built and brought on a couple affiliations with national installation companies. And we found our early adopters were installing the product themselves. And that trend had continued for quite a while. This product is easy to install, and the typical installation is no more than 10 to 15 minutes. Now, as much as that might be a detriment to an installer's business, we feel it's an incredible advantage as well. Time is money in your business. This product is designed to be installed quickly with less risk. Also, some states require a locksmith for a door retrofit. All we're doing is replacing the thumb turn. So you get around all of those codes or conditions. The application should be very straightforward. A couple of the neat features we have built in as well. You think about the Z-Wave locks that are typically on the market. A lot of these are nodes on the end of a network. You may have a central control device that's allowing permissions or conditionals or setting up different types of scenes, but there's really no intelligence built into the lock. Our app allows the user and you, the dealer, to configure some pretty neat settings. Not only do we control all of the guest keys and guest allowance in the cloud, we can offer different roles. You have owner role. You can have multiple owners. So my wife and I are both owners. That means we can give guest keys to virtual keys to guests. So I can provide my mother-in-law with guest access. I can restrict that access to 8 to 5 Monday through Wednesday, so she can only come when I'm at work, for instance. No, I'm joking. But there is that right built in. You can do it on a recurring basis. You can do it on a temporary basis. So I have it set up for my my cleaning lady to come once every 2 weeks on Wednesday mornings from 8 to 12. That's the only time that she's allowed access through the front door. You can set it up for temporary. A couple other features here. I'll probably forget one or two, so I'll let Lisa chime in. But the most exciting feature for me is auto unlock. Auto unlock utilizes both geofencing and Bluetooth, and the experience it provides is when the homeowner pulls up in their front door or pulls up in their driveway, as soon as the lock identifies that it's that individual, it'll go ahead and auto unlock. So if I leave the parameters in the app that I have set up, very easy to set up. You basically drag and drop. It finds your house via GPS, and you go ahead and set your barrier around your house of how far you want this geofence. Whenever I break that barrier, it knows that I've left. And when I come home and get within Bluetooth range, it goes ahead and auto unlocks the door. So my wife, who is sick and tired of all of the different home automation stuff I've installed over the years, really appreciates this feature because she doesn't even have to use her keys anymore.
Yeah, and I have to say, oddly enough, auto unlock only makes sense. People just imagine, your wife's coming home, and I know, we get home from soccer practice, my hands are full. If I pull out my keys, everything's gonna drop. I've got screaming kids around me. When it just automatically unlocks as I've entered the certain geofence, I can't even tell you, like, it saves me time, it saves me frustration. The kids just automatically open the door and just makes me feel better. On the flip side, what I think I use a lot, and which I think a lot of users use a lot, is called the auto lock feature. And I can't even tell you how many times when you bring this story up, and you guys can probably all relate on the line right now, where you've left the house, you're on the way to the airport, and you're just about to park your car in the parking lot, and you're like, oh crap, I can't remember if I've actually locked the door in your house. So you turn around, waste another 20 to 30 minutes to get home just to check to see if your door is locked. Now with the August Smart Lock, if you have auto lock, as soon as you shut the door and you set the feature on, it goes anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes. Once you shut the door will automatically lock behind you. So you don't have to waste time turning your car around or wonder whether or not your door was locked once you've left the house. I have to say that's by far my favorite, but user favorites are usually the auto unlock feature.
Great. So I think we covered some of the main features of the lock. Obviously, there's more involved. We have an entire feature called August Access, which is all about trusted access to your home for services and goods and delivery services. That's also another feature built into the app. Your customers gain access to third-party services. If they have an August app, then they're able to provide access for those services, whether it's Postmates or Sears Home Services, kind of a cutting-edge delivery services system we've built up. Here's some more details, bullet points about the lock. I think we've covered the vast majority of what is listed here, and we'll go ahead and recap it at the end. So, Elisa, unless you think there's anything else of a take on the smart lock, we can probably move on to the next product.
No, I think it's pretty straightforward. And by the way, you guys are asking great questions on the chat forum, so I'm trying to answer some of that too right now.
Yeah, and I saw something about smart things, and we'll cover some of the partnerships we have here in a minute. You could imagine a strategy that we have here in August, being that we're HomeKit enabled, we're a Works with Nest partner. We now have the Amazon Echo partnership that we're going to continue to address the different major platform players in the market who I think are becoming more and more clear as these major companies. SmartThings would be one of those. And then across the alarm side, obviously with our integration with Honeywell Total Connect, you could imagine that the other cloud-based alarm providers are companies that we're talking to and integrations that we're working on. So hopefully that's saying something without saying too much. That brings us to the August doorbell camera. Doorbell cameras are obviously a very exciting category. I know that the explosive growth of this category really surprised me in terms of where it's gone in even the past 2 years. Everywhere we look, you see advertisements or retail displays for doorbell cameras. And it's a product that I'm sure you guys have been installing or your customers have asked about. It's a personal product. It really resonates with the end user. It has that safety and security of your house when you're not home. There's been some awesome stories around what has been captured by these doorbell cameras. Within a week of shipping this product, we had somebody who was able to let the firemen in their front door because the neighbor's house was on fire. So they were able to, instead of breaking their front door down to clear out the house and make sure no one was home, they went ahead and just let them in with the August lock because they called on the doorbell. And that was pretty cool to hear. There's been dozens of other stories like that. I know we see them on social media every day. We'll dive into some of the details here of this product. The doorbell cam, our doorbell camera is a hardwired device. And we did that for a number of reasons. I think this actually plays very well into the dealer crowd. This is not as much of a DIY product. You're dealing with low voltage, but you're dealing with wiring. So it's much the same as having a thermostat installed. You're looking for 16 to 24 volts at the front door. And the reason we went for hardwired, at August, what we want to do is we want to accentuate the features of the products that you have in your home. We don't want to necessarily replace that functionality. So with the door lock, we're not looking to replace your keys. We're not looking to put a whole new piece of hardware. With the doorbell, we're not looking to replace your doorbell. This still acts like a doorbell. It replaces your existing doorbell. It works with your mechanical chime, and with that functionality involved, you're never going to lose that capability. So, hardwired device. Also, what that allows you to do is pull up video on demand. Battery operated devices cannot do that as functionally. There's just too much power. So this works like an IP camera in terms of, motion detected at the front door, or do I want to check on the status of the front door, view the camera, just like an outdoor IP camera. I can do that via the August doorbell cam. Obviously, you hit the button, it calls the cell phone that has been programmed to react to. You now have an experience of two-way audio and one-way video. A couple of features that we're working on that weren't announced at release are intelligent motion detection. So it may seem pretty straightforward, motion detection with a doorbell camera. The other players have it. Why doesn't August have this feature yet? Well, we actually built a video analytics server on board of this camera at great cost, mind you, but also with the intention of having intelligent motion detection, not motion detection that goes off when a truck drives by. So we are looking for features that determine a human at your front door. It has a face and moving hands and such. That will enable the notification that there is someone delivering a package or someone's at your front door. A feature that actually is enabled now is that there is movement approaching the front door, and we are going through the steps internally to start push to the cloud, anticipating that somebody's going to hit the button. We're trying to cut down on latency between the push of the button and the phone call. We want that to be virtually instantaneous. So a couple of neat features there. Another feature that I'm really excited about that'll be coming out here shortly as well is the DVR cloud functionality, premium services. And I hope to have some exciting announcements around what we're willing to offer to dealers in terms of selling a premium service with the doorbell camera. And what a premium service would mean is the ability to record the motion that occurs or the phone calls at your front door for a given period of time. And I think this is an exciting revenue stream that you guys are probably finding in the IP and surveillance camera world today to be able to establish those types of income streams, if you will. Let's see, Elisa, I'll chime back to you real quick. I probably forgot something important, so love your feedback.
So like they're on fire here on the chat. So, key takeaway with the doorbell cam, really, I think, Mike, you probably already touched on it a few times, but I'm just going to bring it on home, is, again, seeing and speaking with visitors at home. So a lot of times people are like, why do I want a doorbell cam? And you give them real life use case scenarios, like how many packages have you guys actually gotten stolen from the door? Or how many times has somebody dropped by and you wish that you could have unlocked the door, but you just weren't there? The August doorbell cam just allows you to have another solution to let people in. Of course, all at the fingertips of your own hands, so you don't just let anybody in. I think the very, very key thing that we really are proud of is that the August doorbell cam is a full solution for your front door, meaning it works with a smart lock. So if somebody does drop by, let's just say, for example, my mom drops by and she really needs to get something and I'm out on a business trip, she rings the doorbell, I'm actually able to unlock the door for her so she can grab whatever she needs. And that's just very powerful. Like, you don't physically need to be there to allow someone that you trust into your home, or miss another package that's really important again. So
another,
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Another key feature, I think, here in terms of the functionality is the bridge to the smart lock. So the August smart lock is a Bluetooth enabled device, as I'm sure most of you are aware. In order to get the smart lock onto Wi-Fi, you need to have a bridge. You either need the August doorbell cam or the August Connect, and those are Bluetooth to Wi-Fi bridges. There's 100 reasons of why we don't build Wi-Fi into the lock natively, We don't need to get into all those now, but really the bottom line is the battery life. We're able to have a battery life of over 1 year with the smart lock today with Bluetooth, and that time would be virtually non-existent with Wi-Fi built into the smart lock. So knowing that, we bridge to Wi-Fi, and the doorbell camera provides another means of doing that. We built the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi bridge into the doorbell cam. Obviously, the doorbell cam enrolls to the customer's Wi-Fi system through the app enrollment, and that's just another bridge. I'll get into those details a little more with the Connect.
Mike, if I can real quick on this is Richie. If I can real quick on the lock, just from our perspective, back here on the sales side, we have dealers calling us and requests for a product like the smart doorbell cam have been enormous lately, and I think having the August model really helps us answer those questions. We've looked at a lot of the ones out there in the marketplace, and honestly, the August is just a great product. It goes in easy. It sets up easy. I mean, if it takes you more than honestly a couple minutes to put this thing on the outside of the house and then to get it running in the app, there's probably something wrong. In all honesty, it's just a great product, quick setup, and from a just to let you know what we see in general from talking to our dealers across the country, very good reception and just a really neat product, something that everybody's been asking for a long time.
Great. Well, thank you, Richie, and the team's been a great support. They built some fantastic videos, and I think they bought into the functionality here early on, just in terms of their own setup and experience. So these guys have a ton of answers. I can't quite keep up with all the questions going here, but I'm pretty excited to read through and be able to address some of the different topics coming up. So hopefully we have some time to do that.
Yeah, I hope so too. Very good questions regarding some APIs and things like that. I am not going to answer Chris and Justin's emails just quite yet, because I think we are coming up on a lot of the features that the keypad and Connect do provide. So real quickly, I'll hit the keypad. What the keypad does is actually it installs on the outside of your door. You can kind of put it anywhere that you want. The real reason why we made it was that we understand that not everybody has a smartphone. We'd love that everybody has an Android or an iOS device, but reality is only about 40% of Americans actually have a smartphone. So we created this so that we can really cater towards people that don't, meaning children or service providers or your cleaners and things like that, that maybe have access into your home and you would like to know when they come in and out of the house, but they just didn't have a smartphone to download the August app. So we really created this smart keypad so that, again, you can track who's coming and going by the use of unique key codes anywhere from 4 to 6 digits. You can customize it, or we can make it for you. Every single user will have their own unique code. So for example, in August, we have over 90 people there, and every single person has a very unique code so that when they do come in and out of the office without using their smartphone, I can track when people are coming through the activity log. So everybody has their own code, they have their own account, and let's just say they use 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's associated to me, Elisa. Anyone that looks on the activity log can see, okay, Elisa got into the office at 7:39 a.m. on this date. And again, this is just really putting the control back into the owner's hands and really catering towards the segment that doesn't have a smartphone. I personally love this because when my daughter comes home from school, I just don't want her having a smartphone. She uses a key code to get in the house, and I feel better when I can see that she's walked in the door, on Thursday at 3:30 p.m. I know she's safely in the house. Another great use case for this is if you go running and you don't have your phone. I think Justin or Chris, you guys might have had this question earlier. If I don't have my smartphone on me and I just go out for a jog, I can actually use a smart keypad that's on the outside to get back in my house, because that keypad is installed on the outside and it communicates with my smart lock that's on the inside of the door via Bluetooth. So this is actually very cool, and when people hear about it, they understand it. And again, it's just an accessory for the smart lock, but it has so many use cases that cater to the rest of the demographics that just don't have smartphones.
Well, and one of those key features, I think, too, is another one I use on a regular basis is a one-touch lock functionality on this keypad. So if you leave the house or you walk out the front door and you hit the red button on the bottom, if your door is unlocked, it'll lock itself. And that sounds kind of, lame and straightforward, but that is the easy use case that customers really resonate towards. I mean, I'll be honest, when we launched this product, I wasn't really excited. Our customers have been very pleased with the performance of the product and the functionality, and sometimes it's the simplicity. That's the beautiful part. So hopefully you find uses for this. Definitely an upsell that can easily be applied to another job as well. Let's move on to the August Connect. August Connect is actually the first Bluetooth to Wi-Fi bridge of its kind. It plugs in and provides you with a methodology to be able to quickly add a lock to a user's Wi-Fi network. So the app takes you through the simple steps. You simply, in the app say add August Connect. It finds the local Wi-Fi network. You identify that network. It goes ahead and attaches to the lock of your choice. And what this does, it does a couple of things. I want to be clear. The lock itself is built as a standalone device. I can send anybody with a smartphone an access key, a digital access key. So if there was a user standing at my front door who had a smartphone in their hand, I could send them a digital key to get in the front door without a Connect being installed in my house. They go ahead and get that key, and now they have access. What I can't do is I can't unlock the door remotely for them. I can't send a push command to say, hey, unlock the front door or lock the front door. Once I have Connect or the doorbell camera, and I have that Wi-Fi bridge link, now I have that remote control access over the front door. So we find about a 50% attach rate of our users find that functionality is something they need. I think for the dealer community, it's a no-brainer. It also allows you to be able to bring on the third-party services that need to have a web-based control or bridge, whether it's Logitech Harmony devices, the Amazon Echo controller, you name it. So a couple of functionalities built there into the Connect. We'll move into the app side, and we only have a single slide here, but we really refer to our system as a mobile command center, and that's because we are dictating access and control for all of the users that you enroll or provide permissions. Whether it's the door lock, whether it's the keypad, or whether it's a video doorbell. So I saw a question about the activity feed. Elisa, do you want to dive into a couple of these? I know you've been active on the chat there.
Yeah, actually, so really, really good questions, and I hope that this slide can add a little bit of clarity as to maybe what the experience of a user or even yourselves would go through if you guys own the August products. Essentially, the one on your left-hand side is where you would actually lock and unlock your door directly from the app. And this is all based off of, whichever lock you have in whatever property. So for an example, on my keychain, I have obviously the August headquarters because we use smart locks there. And then in my home, I use the August smart lock for my front door. Each property, you can have as many locks as you want, as many users. But once you click into the lock that you're trying to unlock, what comes with it is also a list of guests that you've invited into your house, and you control whether or not you want those to be guests or owners, and that's unlimited. You set the schedule as to what Mike mentioned earlier. For example, if I have a housekeeper that comes, I can say that she comes every Wednesday between 2 and 5. I can also revoke that at any time. But because I'm allowing all these multiple types of users coming into my home, you really get to monitor the access, what you see here on the third app screen from the left. Who's really coming and going, because you are giving them the access. Everybody has a unique key code or they have a unique account, so you can detect, whether Mike has come in on Monday at 3:30 or whether or not somebody has manually locked and unlocked the door, because it's all tied together through the app and it's all communicating either through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. The final screen on the right-hand side is really, when somebody does come and ring your video doorbell, that is the screen that comes up. And you can choose, if you have a smart lock, you see that red dot in the center. If you don't have a smart lock, it won't be there. But that red dot indicates your door is locked, and you can choose to unlock it by tapping that red button if you choose to let whoever the guest is on the outside. We do want to make sure that everybody has access through the August app, but somebody also asked questions like, super valid. Users don't want to use multiple apps and multiple platforms, and we understand that. So we do other integrations such as with the Logitech Harmony Remote, or even Honeywell Total Connect, or the Comcast Xfinity, where our smart lock is actually integrated into their systems. So you'll see a lot of different use cases because we do understand that people don't want to use multiple platforms. So depending on whatever partner that they're looking into, will determine the type of integrations that we have.
Well, and great point. And I think you guys will find over time we'll add more partnerships that are relevant and important for the dealer community. We're pushing hard on that internally. We have a right on point, right in the partnerships. We have a number of inquiries for development, and we're working our way through that queue to get through integrations. One that's exciting for this group, I think, is the recent announcement of our partnership with IFT, and that takes that allows us to have some bridging capability and some conditional functionality that maybe wasn't available before. So hopefully that's a great news to the guys on the chat. I know that some of the users are wanting to get into an API level interface or into the actual back end commands. We don't allow that today. We do have a RESTful API, but it's not open. We do review the partnerships, and part of that is because we want to control the user experience. Not control, but we want to guide the user experience to ensure that user experience on the other side is approved and something that we feel will be beneficial to all of our users. So that's a pathway right now. We'll continue to add additional partners. These are just some of the high level, most prominent partners. I'm not really sure what happened to the formatting on this slide, but works with Nest, for instance. Obviously, we have the interface with the lock and the thermostat. So I lock my home when I leave, and then I get a push notification. Would you like to set your Nest into away mode? Yes, I do. I just left the house. We also have some tie-ins now with Nest Aware with the cloud video camera subscription. The doorbell camera can be viewed in your Nest Aware system like it's another Nest camera. So that was a pretty exciting announcement that came a few weeks ago. Nest has been a great partner with August, and we've seen a lot of adoptions of the product. I think the demographic of your user that maybe is using a Nest thermostat is the perfect type of customer that would also be interested in the August products as well. We touched on these other ones here, and I think I can say that there'll be a lot more of these announcements down the road. The team's working pretty diligently on it. My dual role in most companies like August, you'll find this, but in addition to building out our pro strategy, also handling BD as well. So I know we're a significant amount of time in here. How are we doing on time, Richie?
We kind of plan on going till 11, so we've got 10 minutes to go. But as long as everybody's okay with it, as long as if everybody's good with the content, we can just keep on going. That's quite all right with me. Great.
Okay, so we just have a few more slides here. Some of this might be pretty basic, but we've gone through these before. We thought some of this might be applicable. We've done a lot of research around the type of customer that not only is attracted to August products, but also smart home products in general. Obviously, customers that have moved, customers that are in a new home, customers that have school-aged children, maybe in their mid to late 30s, when security becomes a big concern. It's no surprise to the audience that security is the #1 driver of smart home adoption. We see what the Vivint's and what the Alarm.coms have been able to do in terms of providing home automation equipment along with security systems. Now, some of that has to do with the demographic of customer that they are, selling to. That customer has the means to be able to add on and pay a higher monthly fee. But some of these, next three slides in terms of, just qualifying questions of your customers.
And we really put these together because these are just common questions that people didn't even think that they would need an August Smart Lock for, or, they're like, I don't need this. My kids are like 12 years old. So you're like, well, actually, you absolutely do need it. Don't you care when they come home? Don't you want to know if your teenagers are creeping out in the middle of the night? Like, there's so many reasons why you would want a smart lock, and people just don't know unless you ask them the right questions. Another second one that Mike's on right now is a lot of people don't necessarily know what Airbnb is, and I think in San Francisco we assume that everybody does because they're down the street from us. But it's really the second home rental market. How many people or customers or dealers or anyone that you interact on a day-to-day basis own a second home somewhere, and they pay a property manager to go leave the keys under the mat, or sometimes you wait for hours for your guests to show up, and we really allow you to take that time back into your hands so you can spend it doing something else while also making money managing these second home rentals that you own. These are all very valid questions that people don't think to ask, and until you ask it, you don't know if somebody is a perfect candidate for using August products. The third one is obviously the business traveler, which some of you guys also are constantly on the road. Like, why not take control of your front door even though you're not physically there? So these are just really basic, key buckets that we find for great users for our products. So hopefully you guys find this useful for yourselves as well. I do also want to pause for a second before we do a quick wrap up and answer some of the questions that maybe I can't answer, Mike. So one of them is, for Justin, he did ask about I believe it's a SAG log, system log, which I wasn't really familiar with. I'm trying to actually find this.
Yeah, I think a lot of the traditional controllers have a log. You think of like an ISY or something like that. You have a full systems log. I don't believe that we are. I know that we have that type of log capability on the back end. I don't think we're exposing that within the app, other than what we would have in the activity feed. And the activity feed is designed to give a snapshot of what the entry and exit of the house has been, no matter how many locks you have, who's gone, who's come, who's gone, time of day. It's actually very pertinent if you're allowing third-party services into your house. For instance, with our affiliations with dog walkers, again, something probably very San Francisco or New York-based metropolitan. That they've been gone for 45 minutes and actually, took Fido for his walk rather than just coming in and, petting him on his head and leaving. So some of those applications have been surprising in terms of just having that power. Getting back real quick, you talked about business traveler. It's something that resonates, I think, when you have an incident in your own neighborhood. So I'm on the road a lot, and last week there was two break-ins right down the street from my house. So I have my wife and my 18-month-old at home, and it's great peace of mind to know that the front door is locked. That you could check on that, make sure that maybe she didn't go to bed and leave it unlocked behind her. And then obviously I have the other smart home products in my house that I can enable notifications. I went through and started enabling motion detection and all kinds of different things I normally turn off because I wanted to know if someone came into the garage or into the middle of the house. So just a quick blurb on that. Are there other questions here, Elisa, that I can attempt to answer?
I think those are the main ones, and I think the system log was related to the Leviton or HAI, the Borrow.
Sure. Yeah, so Leviton, HAI, both are applications I think that we would look very seriously into wanting to tie into. Both very credible home automation controllers, security panels, and if there's maybe some more detailed questions we can take offline, I welcome anybody to contact me. My email address is mike@august.com. I'll put it into the chat feed here, and hopefully we could take any of these conversations or benefits to your business that we can add in. I'd love to consider those and build them in. Like I said, we're only getting started here. We'll be at CEDIA in September. We have a booth, and our presence there is really our entry as a company into the professional market. So we look forward to meeting any of you that attend the conference, and I want to put myself out there just in terms of being able to get to know the market, get to know the Worthington dealers, and how we can best support you guys. So let's go through this quick wrap up, Elisa. I think this is important. Do you want to take this portion of it?
Yeah, so we went through so much today, and so if there's anything that you're going to take away, these are just some key things we just want you to remember. So with the August Smart Lock, we really allow the owner to be the key master. You get access to who comes and goes. It is battery operated, connects via Bluetooth, and it uses your existing hardware. So whatever lock grade you have is the one that you're stuck with, because we are simply a retrofit to the inside of the door. The August doorbell cam, a little bit more robust, or not robust. It takes a little bit more time than the smart lock, but essentially what it does is it always allows you to know who's there. There's no new wiring, but you do need an existing doorbell wire there. Connects via Bluetooth and also acts as a bridge because there is also Wi-Fi built in. So as you can see here, you will need a couple more tools to install the doorbell cam, but by all means, you guys are all very capable of doing it.
Let's address any confusion here. I think just the wording here. Now, the doorbell camera, of course, connects via Wi-Fi. That's how the operation of the camera, works. The Wi-Fi device, and the bridge would communicate via Bluetooth to the lock.
Yep. And then the final one here is August Smart Keypad. So this one, you do need an August Smart Lock in order to operate it, but it really is secure and code-based entry and allows anyone that doesn't have a smartphone to get access into your smart lock. That connects to Bluetooth, and it is powered by AAA batteries. Absolutely nothing to wire, and it goes on the outside of your house.
There was a question real quick that I started answering typing, but about having multiple locks. And yes, you can have multiple locks in a single location. One of the employees at our company has 6 locks in his home. I have access in my app to like 6 different homes right now that have multiple locks in each home. I don't own 6 homes. I own 1 home, but I have access, mostly for testing and demos. I think a good example of the robustness of the system is our headquarters. We have 6 locks. We have 90 employees, all with different levels of permission, meaning different times that they can access the building via 6 different locks. So that's all being managed on the back end. There really is no limitation to the functionality that we allow through the cloud. We'll never charge for guest keys. You can have as many guests in the system as you want, and so anything else there that we can address, feel free to reach out. So the bridge plugs into 110 volt. It plugs into the wall. It's simply a plug-in module. Our recommendation would be to keep it within Bluetooth range of the lock. So you probably want to have it within 30 to 50 feet. In a house, I'd probably say closer the better. But then it ties into your Wi-Fi network. And I see the appreciation for my Keymaster joke. I appreciate that. Richie, I think you can take it from here, unless there's some other things that we can address. Thank you guys for your time. This has been really exciting, and the feedback's fantastic. So look forward to working with all of you.
Yeah. So, Greg, I'm just looking at that last question. Can you have multiple bridges on a network to extend range? correct me if I'm wrong, August folks, but I think there's really be no need for that. Really, if you might need one near each lock. I guess I should say that much.
Yes.
But as long as you have one within Bluetooth range of that lock, you're good to go. Feel free to keep those questions coming. We'll keep going. And if you do have any, email us at sales@worthless.com. Email Mike at August. He'll help you. Whatever we need to do, we'll do. Also, I will review and share the chat log with Mike and Elisa from August, so that if there's anything we feel like we missed, we can email you folks directly to get those. We want to make sure we've answered your questions. We appreciate you taking the time to be here and having those questions, so we'll do our best to get them answered accordingly for you. A couple last things I'd like to wrap up with. Again, for those of you on here that are long time or even new dealers of ours, but you're dealers, you're working with customers from that custom integrator perspective. This certainly is a shift from what we're used to. Not a custom product, not something that you're going to spend 3 weeks installing a whole system for. But that's kind of what's cool about it. This is something that your customer already knows about in many cases. You're not out there trying to pitch a high-end custom system that you have to tell them, oh no, trust me, this really is something that has a good reputation in the market. You've just never heard of it before. That barrier has already been broken for you. These products, even especially August. I was watching TV the other night, and an August commercial came on. So they're doing so much of that heavy lifting for you that now you have the opportunity to go out there and say, hey, I'm a dealer for August. I'm a professional installer. If you've heard of these products and thought they were interesting, but maybe you're just not the person to put them in on your own, give me a call. I'll do this for you. That I think is tremendous. It's a new thing for us in our custom industry, but it absolutely has the potential to do really well, and it's already starting to. A couple other things, regarding the integration, really quick, that I started to talk about in the beginning. Mike had discussed how the Nest works. The Harmony remote is another really cool one. That's one of those things where you can go into the customer's house and say, I can take these 4 remotes off of your coffee table and give you one that does everything, and you can lock and unlock your front door. Just some really cool stuff. Throw in maybe some Caseta lighting in there to do it. Do the lighting, you have off a really cool system. And it kind of builds from there. So we like that. Again, I can't stress enough how important the front doorbell cam is. I think that's just a really cool add-on piece. Also, as Mike said, it also includes the functionality of the Connect. So if you want that away-from-home functionality, you're already getting that with the doorbell cam. It's a really cool product. Also, one thing that I wanted to mention, just because it always kind of hit a nerve for me, I really like how the keypad and the front door camera, they're actually designed to be mated together. So when you put them by the front door, if you have both systems, or I should say both products, they actually look on the next to your front door like one unit, one piece. They're very low profile. They look fantastic. So I think that's another nice thing. Last thing I'll leave with, unless there are any other questions, we will be emailing in a few minutes, just a quick wrap up, and the promo prices will be in there. Again, I would say the best way to move forward now that you've really gotten to see this is to get it in your hands and use it yourself. And we're going to do our best to make those products as accessible as we can to you for that limited time. So you got a week to do that. Aside from that, I really appreciate everybody's time for joining us today. We thank Mike and Elisa for starting so early in their morning to get going with us. I think it went very well. Really, one of the most